Live from the Export Beer Garden studio, this is the Agenda podcast for a fake Friday. It is Thursday, the 28th of March.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
Happy fake Friday. I love these.
Yeah.
It feels like a Friday walking around the office this morning.
Yeah, people are clocked out.
Yeah.
It's Easter Thursday.
Now, is it, I feel like we need to do this exercise today as a PSA. Bottle store's not open tomorrow or Sunday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow
because the only reason I always remember that is I hitchhiked as a 19-year-old around Ireland.
Awesome.
And got as far as like Cork, and it was Easter Thursday. And I hitchhiked, and this guy was like, I can't do an Irish accent, but he was like, watch out, it's Black Friday tomorrow. And I was like, Black Friday? He goes, yeah, all the pubs and liquor stores are closed. So you can't buy beers or alcohols, and we call it Black Friday in Ireland. And I was like, okay. He goes, so do you want to go via bottling? I was like, okay, so we went via that, and then I stayed at a friend's house, and all they could talk about was the fact whether they'd got enough piss for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like, their cupboard was full. Their liquor cabinet was full. They had so much. It's like,
on no other Thursday would you do that.
but it was a huge panic in Ireland because I think it's the only day outside maybe Christmas Day where all pubs and all liquor stores, everything's closed and you can't get piss, and they act like piss has been banned forever.
Yeah. This is what happens when it snows down south. If it's like there's going to be a snowstorm this weekend, everyone load up, you go into the supermarkets and the shelves are barren. And it's like, how often do you go to the supermarket every second day? Why do you not have enough bread? Why is it always bread as well? That's one of the first things to go mouldy.
And toilet paper.
Yeah.
What the toilet paper thing gets me.
Well, particularly because it's mostly like rural people, particularly where I grew up, who do their shopping like once every 2 weeks.
They freeze the bread.
So you're doing your shopping once every 2 weeks, but if it might snow for 2 days, you freak out and have to go in and buy a bunch of. So I don't really understand it. But anyway, so yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Unless you know the publican in your town, because that was always the hack for us.
Yeah.
You knew the guy who ran the pub, so you could just go down, give him a ring, and he'll be like, look, don't tell anyone about it, but if you come to the back door, I'll bring you out a crate of spades.
Yeah.
Of Export
Don't
Ultra.
tell Jesus.
And don't tell Jesus.
Yeah.
And you'd go down there, and then like there'd be three of your mates also had rung the guy. Yeah.
If I was the guy doing that, I would make them do something for it. Like, I'll give you a crate of Export Ultra, but you have to come dressed as Jesus with the full crown. And you have to carry a cross with you, and like just the full gambit, and then you'll get a crate.
Or I'd make them go to church. Like, okay, I'll give it to you. I'm going to bring them to church, and I'll give them to you after. So
Got to go to midnight mass.
yeah, you've got to go to midnight mass, and then you just don't go yourself. You just show up later on with the crates to give out to people.
I think the greatest thing also is because tomorrow is a holiday. People like to tie one on tonight.
Yeah.
But the bars close at midnight.
Oh, which is for the best.
I know, it is for the best, but at the time you completely forget.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what the fuck, man? You're like, oh.
Hey. Oh, yeah. I was just starting to get into my work. I found my dancing feet.
You're
about to get into it.
But in the morning you go, oh, thank God for that.
Yeah. Big fan of that. Well, there's plenty of sport across this weekend as well. It's a great weekend of watching sport because you get your rugby, you get your league, and you've got a few days off either side, so it's absolutely excellent. We'll get into that. I was talking about dancing feet just before. There were a few last night at the Fred again. There's some shattered souls around the office today.
Yeah.
And that impacts us because we've opened a sweepstake this morning. It is our dear friend, sister of Braden, Courtney Enel's last day at the ACC today.
Yes.
She's breaking one of Matt and Jerry's 10 commandments, and she's following love to another city.
Yeah.
She's moving to Edinburgh on the other side of the world for love. And we've opened a sweepstake around the office this morning as to which of the members of staff are going to cry first.
Yes.
For her last day.
But there's some intel.
There is some intel that's quite important. So there are some really short odds, number one and number two. There's a clear number one and number two. I don't think, don't mind me saying it's Claire and Kate.
Yeah.
From there, we get into a few of the higher odds players. But what the bookies haven't factored in is that one of these people has been to Fred again last night. And so what their emotional state will be this morning could really impact the betting odds.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not talking just tiredness. I want to, if some substances were consumed that may affect the emotional stability, I want to know that before I lay down my bet.
Yes.
I need to know, I need some inside knowledge, and I need to know what was potentially consumed or what was not potentially consumed.
That's right, because the book was made before any of this knowledge came out. So what the odds were, which were quite long for this person.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened last night? Have they shown up, as we were talking about before we started recording, have they shown up emotionally hollow and they're going to be numb to the whole thing that one of their friends is leaving?
Yeah.
Or are they showing up emotionally fragile?
Yes.
In which case, everything's so much worse.
Yep.
It's a heightened sort of thing. There might be some drinks around lunchtime. Does that factor into the equation? So there's some real value to be had in this market.
There is. It's a real spicy one. And I've just had a meeting with that person, and she seems surprisingly chipper, which for me sets off alarm bells in the fact that, there might still be something still flowing through the bloodstream.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
and
then, usually if you have a big night and it's only about 4 o'clock, usually it starts to wear off.
Yeah.
It starts to become, the demons really set in.
Yeah. So there needs to be some intel, some research done into that, but I reckon there's some juicy odds in the office sweepstakes.
Yep.
We'll see how that one plays out. We'll give you an update later.
Speaking of juicy odds.
Juicy odds. The Shohei Ohtani scandal broke about over the weekend, didn't it? Minutes after they slid this one right in there, the NBA, they have their own gambling scandal. Toronto Raptors forward Jonte Porter is under investigation by the NBA following multiple instances of betting irregularities. If you haven't heard of him, that's because he's a bench player.
Yeah.
In the game on January 26th against the Clippers, there was increased betting interest on the under for Porter's prop bets, which is like multis. So for the night, he was set at around 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 0.5 3-pointers.
Yeah.
That evening, he played just 4 minutes before leaving the game because of what the Raptors said was an aggravation of an eye injury. Very hard to test for.
Yeah.
The next day, DraftKings put out every day they put out what was the biggest moneymaker from that day. And it was betting on the under for a bench player, this Jonte Porter guy. The next...
That's DraftKings across America.
Across America, which makes millions. And usually it would be because the Lakers got tipped up by, the shittest team in the league or something like that. But for this guy, Porter, the same thing happened last week, March 20th. This time he withdrew for illness. Multiple betting accounts had attempted to place bets upwards of $10,000 and $20,000 on Porter unders in the January bet. Betting limits are usually about $1,000 to $2,000 on DraftKings. So this is set off red flags. It's under investigation. He's now not playing due to personal reasons.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting paid $415,000 a year to play in the NBA as it was. Do you think it was worth it for him? Well, first of all, do you think that he did do this?
100%.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And I think he's going to get, and I think the NBA will use a bench player as an example and ban him for life. Because he 100% did it. It must be hard though. I mean, 450,000 US, what's almost $1 million a year in New Zealand.
Yeah.
For us, sounds great. Like we'd be like pigs and shit.
Yeah.
But he's probably playing around players who get paid that per month or per week.
Yes.
And that would be a tough pill to swallow.
Yes.
So you'd be like, fuck that guy. He turns up in his Maserati or his, Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Whatever. I've still got my Ford Escape.
Yeah.
Because in comparison, I'm earning fuck all. So I reckon it's all comparable. That's why he would have got into this.
Yes.
And we don't know the background.
We don't know his background.
I don't know his background because a lot of this stuff usually involves some dodgy bookies who have got something on you. Whether it's on your family or whether it's you personally. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what his background is, but I think he's definitely done. I don't think he's coming back into the game. And he's reasonably old and they will use him as an example. But I think there's only going to be more of these because only recently in the last kind of year and a half, sports betting has become legal in the States.
And even mainstream to where now the odds are being presented on TV. They always have been over here.
Yeah.
Staff's been on our screens for years giving us the odds. But in the NBA, it's only just started happening. So this is the first of, like you're saying, what could be quite a few of these kind of scandals.
Yeah, because in the past, it was always illegal betting. And that was like that NBA umpire who got caught up in...
Tim Donaghy.
Yeah, and that was all illegal betting, so it made it even murkier.
Yes.
But now you've got DraftKings, you've got all sorts of betting syndicates. It's not just TAB. They haven't just got one. There's 5, 6, 7 different companies doing it. And the thing is, the sports associations and the teams totally have to be careful how they play it, though, because they're bringing in so much money into the league, into the teams, and what currently is a real soft media market. There's sponsors aren't coming in with your 100 billion sponsorships.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of money coming in from clients and stuff, but there's shitloads coming in from sports betting.
Yeah.
So they're like, they're going to have to play it pretty carefully here because it's keeping a lot of teams and a lot of leagues afloat.
Yeah, it is. But I also think like they're aligned, the franchises and the betting agencies, and that neither of this is terrible for both of them.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to watch a game thinking that
Guys tanking.
Yeah. And nobody wants to place it. Certainly no one wants to place a bet thinking that same thing. So it's quite interesting. But it's also interesting how they were doing it. It's like that Tim Donaghy, the refereeing thing, is basically in the NBA or in any game of basketball, anyone that's played basketball knows this. You get hit all the time. If you're going up for a layup, you're going to get smacked. Yeah. And it could be called a foul or it could not be called a foul. So it's completely up to the referee's discretion, and they can change the course of a game. Because if you give a star player 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, he basically has to sit for the rest of that half.
Yeah.
Because you can't risk him getting fouled out. And then conversely, you can give another team like 20 free throws if you want them to win. So there are ways to do it other than just, turning the ball over or missing shots on purpose. Because this guy's never going to walk out onto the court and miss a shot on purpose. But what he can do is go out there, play for 2 of the 10 minutes he was supposed to, and then be like, oh, my eye, I got to get out. The second game that he pulled out for, it was illness. So he's shown up that day and probably said to the coach, hey,
I got shits.
Oh, yeah, I got the shits. I'll go out there, but if I come off, it's because I've shit myself. And so he goes onto the court. In that game where he came off for sickness, he went on. I think he got like 3 rebounds, put up 1 shot, missed it, and then said he was crook.
He must. I mean, he's something. I mean, look, it'd be great to get the background because you can't do that and see all this money pile on you and no red flags be raised.
Yeah,
like maybe if it was illegal betting, it'd be fine, but it was through DraftKings.
I think that's where he's come undone.
Yeah,
because if it's illegal gambling, you don't get the press release.
No.
Whereas DraftKings are trumpeting it like, check this out.
Someone's put 20 grand on this.
We lost so much money on Jonte Porter, and I follow the NBA quite heavily. I'm wearing an NBA shirt right now. I never heard of this guy. I have never heard of Jonte Porter. And so, this is when that pops up on DraftKings and it's like, people bet the unders on Jonte Porter and the interesting thing I'd like to find out is what's the network there? How do people know? Who's tipping them off? So obviously is it him? Does he have an agent? Does he have a manager?
It'd definitely be a middle person, probably someone
and then
very dodgy.
And then who are they telling? They're big. They must have gambling guys that they tell, right? Well, there must be some.
Yeah, if that Donaghy one is anything to go by, you probably usually criminals, or gangsters, or someone who's the
Toronto gang.
Yeah, the Toronto Mafia.
Toronto Mafia.
Well, it doesn't need to be in Toronto, does it? Betting's probably happening all over the states. They didn't say where it was happening.
They didn't. Could it potentially be that he lives in Toronto that is like a loophole that could help him get out of that?
I don't think so. I think gambling fraud's gambling fraud. But the thing is with all this sports gambling, and like I was saying, more of this shit's going to happen as fringe players look to make a bit of cash. But what it does do, like you were saying before, no one wants to watch a game tank. But every now and then, if someone underperforms, like every time, it still happens now, every time Pakistan lose a game, everyone goes,
against Afghanistan, really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
there's a bit of feeling in that one. You're telling me you guys just straight up lost it? I know they've got a good spinner, but
which is not great. Which is not great when you're like doubting, either individuals or teams.
That's right.
When they have a shitter. Yeah. Because every team has a shitter, but then now everyone's going.
Yeah, which is very tough to come back from for a league. So I expect that they're going to throw the absolute book at this guy. Yeah. He probably only had about a year left on his contract anyway.
Yeah, he did. He's going to get a lifetime ban, I think, at minimum. I don't. What can you do more than that? Put him in jail?
Send him to the Breakers? Yeah, I don't know.
We'll have him.
Yeah, well, absolutely we'll have him. 7 foot tall. If you're 7 feet tall, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Come play for us. That's all you need. All right, time for a quick break. We'll be back to talk a bit of Super Rugby. It just gets worse for the Crusaders, Lane, you'll be happy to know. On top of the fact that they are playing the Chiefs this weekend, David Havili is out.
Oh.
A bit of calf soreness.
So that is potentially an entire different 15 that's going to come play the Chiefs that played in the final against the Chiefs last year.
Yes.
Because I think there was 13 different players, and now he's out. That's 14. So there might only be one player in that team.
Is it Cullen Grace? I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. The biggest slap in the face that we've had as a franchise, the Crusaders, is this week, and it is the Chiefs are resting Damian McKenzie.
That is a massive dick shrinker.
It's such a big fuck you to the Crusaders from the Chiefs. I like it.
As a Chiefs Mana fan, I'm a little bit worried because there was a few games a couple of rounds ago where McKenzie came off with a bit of a niggly injury, I think just before half-time, and the Chiefs looked like absolute shit in the second half, and the other team just about came. I can't remember who it was, and we only just squeaked the victory.
Yeah.
So it worries me a little bit that they're dropping him.
Tua's agree, but I was looking through the team list this morning, and that Chiefs team list is still excellent.
Yeah,
like it's so good.
Nutter was back in the fold as well.
Stevenson, who's your other winger?
Manaia Stewart.
Yeah, it's like,
and you got Quinn Tupaia.
Yeah. ALB, I think, is back.
Is he?
I think so.
After getting KO'd, he's back after 2 weeks.
I think so. I think I saw it.
Good.
Or maybe they just named him to apply a bit of pressure into the...
You got Jacobson.
Doctors.
You've got
Jacobson's
Akoi, who had a screamer last week.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, so I'm going to be there.
Oh, yes.
I am going to be there. So myself, Joe Jury, Pantsman, Joel Harrison are going to be there on Friday night because we've got the ACC Golf Open tomorrow at Harewood. So straight after that, we're going to head into Christchurch. I've never been to that stadium. The Scaffold Stadium.
Scaffold Stadium,
Apollo,
Orange Theory. Yeah.
Now Apollo Projects.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they needed to drop the projects,
Yeah,
man.
Apollo would have been awesome.
Apollo Stadium is sick.
Yeah.
Playing the Crusaders at Apollo Stadium,
Yeah.
you put projects in, you're like,
Yeah, so we're going to be there, so that's going to be good. I could live up to if the Crusaders win, I won't be able to shake the Grim Reaper of live sports.
Yes.
After what I've done to the Black Caps.
A lot has been made of this. I know Matt Heath brought it up the other day. We've had a few voicemails come through about it as well. Decided against playing them, but I think that this could be another one to add to the dossier.
It could be.
The Chiefs are to lose. Having said that, I did look at this in terms of happiness insurance at the TAB, and they'll only give you $2.50 for a Crusaders victory.
That's
such short odds.
I know.
I honestly, when I opened the app, I was thinking $8. I was thinking $5. I was thinking $8.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're coming second. Hurricanes ahead, but Crusaders are last.
Yes, dead last.
Dead last.
Have not won a game, and since losing their last game, have lost another crucial player.
Yeah, and I imagine if the Chiefs were playing the Rebels will be paying about $7.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why? I don't know. They need to sort their algorithm out because they could have made a lot of money off Cantabrians this weekend by putting a $5 tag on there.
Yeah, I think maybe just the legacy of the Crusaders is preventing them from putting some juicy odds.
Oh, I think it would be, yeah, because whatever their algorithm would look at, it'd be like, oh, they haven't lost the competition in however long, you know?
Yeah, but they're going to go 0-6.
Well, potentially. A few other matches. What does anything jump out at you the
only one I have put our agenda punt. I've done a six-legged cockroach on all the favourites.
Are you going chalk?
Because I've gone chalk because I think you got Drua versus Force, and that is in Fiji. So I'm saying that the Drua are going to win that.
Yeah.
Highlanders Hurricanes. I can't go past the Hurricanes.
No.
Waratahs Rebels. Can't go past the Waratahs on that one. The Rebels just don't look great.
The shambles.
And Moana Pacifica Blues. I've gone Blues.
Blues are almost unbackable.
Yeah, so they're at 4:30 on Saturday, Eden Park. The only one that's potentially going to tip me up is the next one, which is Reds Brumbies.
Yeah.
Reds are the hot favourites.
Well,
but Brumbies
not hot because Brumbies are only at like $2.20.
Yeah, well,
and so Reds are at like $1.90.
So I've got Reds. I've got taken Reds there, where I'm slightly regretting that. I maybe should have put the Brumbies because I quite like the way the Brumbies play.
I do too.
That's my one. I'm a little bit nervous of. Yeah.
I like the Brumbies more than the Reds, but the Reds do look like a better team. I don't know. There's something about the fact that they got Vunivalu out on the wing that just does it for me.
They'll grind. They're playing at home as well, so they might grind it out.
Yeah.
That was my only thing there was that one. So that one's, I think it's paying like about $6 for that, or $5 or $6 for that multi, that six-legged multi.
It's not too bad. I was trying to sniff out an upset here, and I just couldn't find one. I don't think anyone beats Fiji in Fiji. I know we've talked about it before, but It's certainly not the Western weakness.
No.
Hurricanes Highlanders will be a good game. I believe we're commentating that one on the Saturday night.
Yes, yep, we are. And you and Matty Water got the Crusaders Chiefs tomorrow.
Yeah, Matty and I are reunited, and it feels so good on Friday night. And I think Matty's probably going to adopt the Chiefs as his secondary team for the duration of that commentary.
That'll hurt for him because he's a Blues man.
Yeah.
That'll hurt.
It will, but he will also just love watching me squirm through 80 minutes of coverage.
If Crusaders win, will you do a full rendition of the Crusader?
Of the Crusader. I think it's probably a bit premature because at that stage we're 1-5.
You've got to start somewhere.
I know, but it's like the meme of the guy standing on third place and spraying himself with champagne. Like that's sort of a bit. I feel like I'll be really drawing the Eye of Sauron back around onto me if I'm.
I think it needs to be done. You need to celebrate the small victories, especially in a tough season.
And maybe if that gives the Crusaders a little bit of joy to hold on to, then I'll do that for them. All right, that's the Super Rugby for the weekend. Oh, the Warriors are playing on Sunday night as well. I know we've talked about this before. The Mad Monday podcast's out yesterday.
Yep,
we're doing Mondays and Thursdays this year. Di and Hurley on the call live from Mount Smart Stadium against the Newcastle Knights. If you have a little bit of treason in you, if you've got a touch of the flag burners about you, there's some good happiness insurance on the Knights at $2.75. I think that's a good little traitorous happiness insurance.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm all for a bit of happiness insurance, especially when it comes to the Warriors.
Yeah,
because you're so gutted when they do lose, particularly at home, that it would be a little ray of sunshine. Yeah,
but RTS at fullback. Sean Johnson's apparently going to take over kicking duties again after a bit of a leg injury to start the season. I think things are going to start coming right for the Warriors.
And if you're in the West Stand, if you've got seats in the West Stand, have a look up the back to the left, and you'll see off to the left next to the coach's box.
The away coach.
Yeah, away coach will be Di Henwood and Ben Hurley. Potentially in the smallest commentary booth you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And you'll probably be able to, they'll open the window, you could probably hear them before you see them.
No, definitely.
So, yeah.
You can smell them, they're that close.
Yeah. Go chuck a beer in the window for Hurley to neck.
100%. All right, when you listen to this podcast on iHeartRadio, you can get involved in the podcast by tapping the little microphone button in the corner, sending us a bit of feedback. We call this segment Yours Please.
Yours Please? Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
Got some good ones this week, Lane.
Oh, yeah, right.
First one here, caller, yours please.
G'day, lads. Hey, I need your help. We're going to the Wilds game this weekend and the little buggers want to make a sign. I've got the brain cells of a bloody potato, so I'm not very creative. But the best thing that we've got so far is Warmageddon, or we send warriors to save our princess. Any ideas, any thoughts? Love to hear. Cheers, lads. Love. Bless.
Like Warmageddon's good.
I like Warmageddon.
Yeah.
The we send warriors to save our princesses thing. There's something in
the Knights.
Warriors v Knights.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is.
It could be something around night and day. There, or night
and day. You could just go straight down the middle with like a let's go on. Are you taking all of your kids, or is one of them not coming? Because if one of them's not coming, you could write a sign and be like, maybe if your grades were better, you'd be here with Dad, and put that sign up, You could use this as a teachable moment as a parent.
If you hadn't called Dad a fuckwit, you'd be here.
If you hadn't taken Dad's phone into your room, taken a photo of yourself pulling the fingers at him, and then calling him a fucking idiot, then maybe you'd be here with us. Some of the best signs I've seen, I've seen this one a couple of times, but it's honey, if your waters break, call me.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Any reference to like the boss not knowing that you're at the game.
And if you are at the game as well and you got the signs, just be wary that you are at a live sports event. There was an occasion last year where someone was doing a bump off their hand, off their mate's hand as it panned around on the sign. So just if you're going to do a bump, maybe don't do it in the stands.
No, well, try not to do it anywhere near someone with a sign.
Yeah.
Because the cameras are going to look for the guy with the sign.
Yeah.
I think there's an Easter angle in there.
Oh, yeah, the resurrection.
The resurrection, the crucifixion.
Yeah.
I know that's what they're calling the Chiefs game against the Crusaders. It's going to be a crucifixion. Yeah, I don't know if there's something.
Something around, hey, the Knights, you're our Easter bunny.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, God, whoever's playing the Rabbitohs this weekend's
Yeah.
just got so many gifts sitting there. So, look, I don't know if we've helped you at all in the slightest there, but good luck. Hopefully you get on the... Could you just write a little ACC in the corner of your sign so we can tell if it's you that gets on TV?
Say, hey, ACC. I do like the Warriors fans. The Warriors fans have become like Indian cricket fans, and they've become legendary for their signs.
Yep.
Which is great because it ends up on all the NRL panel shows and everything. Which
nobody gets kicked out for a sign.
Nah.
Like at rugby union games, people get kicked out for signs all the time.
Cricket games.
Cricket games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the Warriors, there was also like a thing happening last year, and someone might know a bit more about this. I didn't get to go to a lot of games last year because of the commentary. Were they handing out, because all the signs were in the same colours, written on the same piece of paper, so were they handing out...
Yeah, they were. They were handing out card and pens. I remember the New Zealand cricket were banning signs that they couldn't understand. We were doing signs in different languages.
That's right.
And we tested it, and we got Stormy Tawa to put I Love Cricket in Māori.
Yeah.
And we put the banner out, and they freaked out and took it down because they thought it said something abusive.
Sure. Shout out to New Zealand cricket. All right, we got another one here. Caller yours, please.
Hey fellas, pretty excited about Sail GP possibly coming to Queenstown, and to celebrate that fact, I've spent this week out on the lake killing every single dolphin, seal, sharks, pretty much everything in the lake, just to get it ready for next year.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service.
Yeah, what a great New Zealander. I mean, there's only the trout in there.
Yep.
And look, trout aren't known for their curiosity or their brains. So I can't, and they're pretty hard to catch, trout. So only problem I've got with Lake Wakatipu is depth.
Well, it's pretty deep, isn't it?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, it is, but close to shore.
Yeah, you couldn't come right up to shore as the
It's a
issue.
bit rocky around there. You know, you look at Lyttleton as a port that's been dredged.
Yeah.
My concern potentially is whether they would maybe beat shit up on a sandbar or hit some rocks close to shore. Getting the boats there too.
Yep. Getting the boats is probably going to be an issue.
Although they do send them in containers, don't they?
Didymo is also going to be an issue.
The Didymo, yeah.
Have they washed the Didymo off them?
Yeah, it's true. They brought Didymo from... look, they don't have a league in Switzerland. I think they'll go there before Queenstown, unfortunately.
We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, thank you for your service.
Yep.
Keep up the good work out there, just slaughtering
Mammals.
Another one here, final one of the day. Caller yours, please.
G'day, mate. I was just wondering, did Matt Heath buy any beers down in Christchurch the other weekend? You guys never got back to us about if he's the Michael Jordan of not buying beers.
Hey.
That guy makes plenty of bloody money. He can be buying the beers for everyone, I reckon. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, see you, mate. Yeah, well, you speak the truth, and I can confirm 0.
Michael Jordan has had 6 trips to the finals and won 6 championships in those 6 trips. And Matt Heath, in the last month, has had 6 trips to the pub with us.
Yep.
And has remained undefeated. He even retired early in that last one. Not only did he not buy a beer, he did not finish a beer that was bought for him, and left the pub with 3/4 of the beer just still sitting there. Don't worry, I mineswept it.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, not only did he not buy a beer was bought for him and he didn't drink it.
Yeah, that's right. I think the only way we're going to get around this is if we start putting them on his hotel room or somehow forcing a bill upon him.
Yeah, well, that happened to me at the Tradies 11.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And I think in the end, I just rejected. So what happened was I woke up the next morning with a $170 bar tab, and it was like 2 bottles of red wine, and I was like, that is not me.
That was me. That was me. It was 100% me, but I didn't give you a room.
No.
I definitely gave my room number.
I don't know what happened there.
And my room number there was 128, and I remember it.
No, my room number was 128. No, yours was, yeah.
Well, yeah, but then what happened, we went to Chateau on the Park, and we stayed there for Sail GP, and I was 126. But I for some reason, 128 was in my head. And apologies to whoever stayed in 128 at Chateau on the Park.
Oh, for the 6 Negronis that were on your
and breakfast. But I said it with such confidence that I think bar staff and everyone, because I genuinely thought I was in 128 until I went to check out, and I gave them the card, and he goes, what room? I said, 128. And he opened it and he said, 126, you mean? I went, Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, and everything dawned on me. I went, yeah, 126.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you're good.
They're generally pretty good about it because I sent them emails. So I didn't order these, and they were like, "You're right, you didn't." And I was
Yeah,
like,
but I didn't get when I checked out and I said, he goes, she said something about there's a few beers or whatever, some wine. I said, yeah. She said, I'll email you the invoice.
"Oh," and then she emailed me.
Yeah, but she didn't email me the invoice.
I don't know. The long and short of it is, she didn't email Matt Heath the invoice, and
But that's what we need to do.
that's what we need to
We
do.
need to get some post. Something needs to happen that Bay Corp or a debt collector will, you know what I mean? Like an organisation like
Piss Corp.
like a Ridges or something will come to you and go,
Beer Corp.
yeah, we'll come to you and say, you haven't paid your bill.
Yeah.
We will send a debt collector to your. That's the only way we're going to do it.
Take your kneecaps. All right, we're going to leave it there for now. We're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we have Team Canada captain and Christchurch's second favourite Kiwi, Phil Robertson, is captain of the Canadian Sail GP team. So he's going to join us right after this. All right, G Lane, you and I had an absolute blast down there at Sail GP in Lyttleton over the weekend. And I think for us, obviously, Team New Zealand was our favourite team.
Yeah.
And if we had to pick a second, it was Team Canada. And the driver of Team Canada, as he called himself, Christchurch's second favourite Kiwi over the weekend. He joins us now, Phil Robertson, live from Canada. G'day, Phil. How you going?
Good. I called myself New Zealand's favourite Kiwi, I thought, after we put the Aussies on the mark. But, yeah,
That's true. That's
I
true.
guess we didn't top it off. So.
That's true, actually. That was a pretty hectic start to that race because we were on a chase boat and all kind of hell broke loose on the radios. What happened at that first mark? Did you just steer the Aussies into the finish buoy?
Yeah, well, it was definitely the most hectic start I've ever been involved in, and probably race day for that matter. We had 3 crashes within the space of about 40 seconds, and we've crashed maybe once in the last 5 years. So it was all on. But the Aussies were a giveaway boat. So the side of the course have their boundaries. As soon as you're in that boundary, you can jibe or tack out of there.
Yeah.
And we hit the boundary, so I started my jibe and looked over my shoulder, and there was that flying kangaroo boat. And they thankfully they turned away and turned straight into a mark instead of crashing into us. So that was good.
Was that
good action?
Was that what caused Denmark to crash into them, or was that later on in that same race?
Denmark crashed into us at the start as well. They just didn't see us. I'm not sure why. We're a pretty big boat, so
Nice.
and very red.
That's what I quite like that about Sail GP, and that was my first time I've been to a Sail GP event. And not only was it awesome to just be on land and watch all the action, and all of that action, all those crashes happened within about 50 metres of the biggest grandstand.
Yeah.
So the Kiwis loved it. Is that what it's so much different from any other, like the America's Cup and all that kind of carry on, is having 10 boats going 80 kilometres an hour towards one buoy. I'm surprised you've only had one crash in the past a few seasons, and then there was 3. But how do you find it out there with like 10 boats all going hammer and tongs?
It's certainly busy, and as you pointed out, it's very new for the sport. It's a challenge, that's for sure. And I think that probably the hardest part is we put the racing so close to the shore, and probably what you don't realise is we are in control until we're not. And when you have to perform a jibe going straight at that rock wall, and if the boat malfunctions for whatever reason, then there's a pretty high chance you're going to end up on the bricks. So far today it's been all right, and we actually had a big sort of nosedive at the end of race 3, which injured quite a few of our crew members.
Oh, really?
Just turning the finish and not having enough runway to slow the boat down, so we had to stick it into the water. So it's certainly a spectator sport now, as opposed to what we've sort of seen in the past.
I did notice that because the finish line, like you said, it is facing the stand, and then there's also it's a very short in goal, is how I'd put it. It's like a rugby league in goal. You got about 7 metres before you then need to turn. And I noticed that that was the hardest turning anyone did on the course, was actually after they'd finished. But I also saw you put the boat into the water at the end. You said that a few people got injured. I can't figure out how you're tethered to the boat. Like, there is some sort of harness situation, isn't there? But you're swapping sides all the time. So how does that work?
Yeah, so we have a line that just runs from one side of the boat to the other, and we're tethered to that line. So 3 guys go around the front of the wing, and then 3 behind the wing. And your line sort of runs to your little station or your cockpit, and then around the back of the wing or in front, and to your cockpit on the other side. So that stops you falling over the side, but it doesn't stop you going backwards and forwards at a rate of knots when the boat comes to a pretty fast stop. So that's probably the biggest. Well, I'll explain it this way. When you nosedive, it's like a car crash. You just hit a wall hitting the water. Yeah. But instead of you going forward, you actually get blasted backwards because there's so much water pressure coming. It's sort of like standing in front of a fire hose and getting blasted backwards. So your whole sort of body's G-forces are throwing you forwards, but then the water's just pushing you backwards. So you get all bent out of shape in pretty awkward positions.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I feel like they need more cameras on the boats because when you got close to the boats, like we were out on the water as well in the different chase boats, but one of the most impressive things is watching the guys run from one side of the boat to the other because there's all the like netting and they're basically running across a trampoline. At certain points they look like astronauts, like running. They're running up on like a 45-degree angle, but at such a rapid rate of knots and bouncing across this trampoline. Does that take a bit of getting used to, Phil? Like trying to figure out how to, because you're going forwards, but then you're on an angle, but then you're tethered, and the bloody thing's going this way. Is that hard to figure out?
Yeah. Oh, very hard. I can't imagine many people appreciate probably the skill set of it, and it's very different. You sort of just have this, I guess, natural balance from being on the water for so many years of your life. But we've had Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen on the boats, and Max was okay, a little bit slow across the boat. Yeah. But Perez was bloody hopeless. The guy couldn't even move. And, it's amazing. They just don't have that sort of balance. And I guess they're pretty top-end athletes, these guys, but they're not, they lack balance and that sort of sense of motion. And I guess if you're sitting in a seat all day, it's quite different.
Yeah. There's one aspect on the day one of Christchurch. Obviously, the Dolphins won the day, but we gave you the podium, and Manaia especially had a massive wide on for the fact that you would cruise close past to the grandstand and just put the Canadian boat up on one side of the boat and just do a wheelie.
Yeah, I was calling it a wheelie. You did a couple of them. How hard is it to do that?
We call it a crowd pleaser.
Yes. How do you, I mean, it must be a fine line, because I was looking at that saying that is, you're one little mistake away from stacking the boat and then retiring it for the day just for the sake of showing your ass to the crowd. I mean, how hard is that? How hard is that to pull off? Obviously, the whole crew has to know you're doing a crowd pleaser. But you were the only person who did a crowd pleaser as well.
Yeah, I actually just felt so terrible for everyone that had come out there and the effort they made and whatnot. But so we thought, well, we might as well give them something to look at. And the boats are quite impressive, so you can tip them over quite a long way, and there's not really any consequences. So yeah, we thought we'd give them a little crowd pleaser, and the chairs we got were so big, and everyone thought it was quite fantastic. So we thought we'd do a couple more of them, and we actually discussed maybe we should just tip it over. You could probably, in that amount of wind, you could probably do it without any damage and pull the boat back upright. And yeah, we might have been the favourite Kiwis if we did that, but
you were very close.
We decided against it.
You were. What's the?
I was uncomfortable at a few moments.
What's the technical team thinking when you're doing that? Are they shitting themselves?
No, I think they're okay. I think they think that we have it all under control. So it's probably best we keep it that way.
Oh, nice. Lifting the curtain a little bit, we got a chance to walk around the technical area. We wandered into the middle of the American team, throwing the pigskin around outside their tent. They were sharing a tent with New Zealand. And we just wandered into the New Zealand tent and had a yarn and wandered back out again. They were listening to Sandstorm while doing yoga, which was a bit weird. But everything seemed quite jovial and quite convivial. Like it was quite a cool atmosphere. Is that what it's kind of like around the whole tour, with everyone kind of hanging out together and kind of, it seemed very friendly?
Yeah, it is quite friendly. There's definitely a few people that I rather dislike, but it is friendly.
Who are they? It's the French, isn't it?
You just named them before. No, it's not the
Aussies.
Kiwis. I'll put it that way. No, the Aussies are all right. The Americans are dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
No, Yeah, and they're bloody hopeless now too, so it's quite enjoyable to see. No, it is very friendly, and it kind of has to be. We're quite a small community at that level, and you spend a week, a month with everyone, so you might as well be mates with some of them.
Where's your favourite spot on the Sail GP tour?
Everyone said it, but Lyttleton was phenomenal, and just having that amount of people down there watching. The conditions are perfect. This whole sort of atmosphere down there is awesome, and being in a small town makes it feel bigger. Put it that way. But besides that, it's probably Bermuda and San Fran are both awesome spots. So just great sailing conditions and cool places to be.
Oh, nice, because you've got Bermuda up next, and then you've got the hometown one in Canada, and then San Fran to round out the season. Is that right?
Yeah, New York and then San Fran.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Four more events, but all pretty good ones. So should be a fun little tour.
Yeah, I'd love to get over to the San Fran one. That'll be so cool.
Absolutely. So, for outside of Sail GP, what are you up to? I know you're a master foiler on just about anything that can foil. What do you get up to outside the Sail GP season?
Yeah, I've actually been working. Don't hate me, but I've been working with a lingy the last year, and. So I've been employed by them. So I'm in Barcelona at the moment trying to train up the Swiss boys to beat Team New Zealand.
All right. Oh, good on you. Good on you.
Don't give them all the secrets, eh?
We'll try not to. But no, it's good. It's good action, and just I'm literally working as a sparring partner. So it's quite a fun role.
Nice.
What's a sparring partner?
Well, you race the other boat, don't you, and just push them to their limit, or is that how that works?
Or do you guys get into a bit of bare knuckle stuff?
A bit of everything. Yeah.
I'm interested to know how you got into sailing, because it seems like for whatever reason Kiwis just rule the sailing world. How did it start for you, and how do you get to the tippy top where you're sparring with Barcelonians?
Yeah, look, I'm from a very humble Kiwi family, and nothing special. Grew up in Mount Roskill, and had my dad built a boat in his garage when I was a little nipper, and we basically just went sailing when we're on family holidays and in the summer while we're camping, and I enjoyed it enough that I took it up, hated it in my sort of teens, and then picked it back up in my sort of later years, and then went to match racing, and from there I sort of was quite inspired by Team New Zealand on the harbour in the early years when the Cup was actually in our country, and decided I'll give it a crack. I sort of spent 5 years in Europe seeing if I could make it happen, and it hasn't stopped. So it's good action.
Oh, nice.
Still here, just.
Awesome. And you're still the owner of one of the greatest sporting yachting quotes of all time during that America's Cup, the sitting on the face.
Come on.
Cool. That was one of the greats.
Yeah, it's bad because it's I think it was bad, but it's actually a term that I use quite often. So it's a tactical play where we would say, we're going upwind, we want to tack on top of someone to sort of cover them and give them a bit of dirty air. And I'll always say I'll sit on their face.
Yeah.
And I managed to accidentally slip it out and make it even worse by trying to save myself.
Oh, you accidentally. I think you said it with the most amount of passion of all time. New Zealand have sat on their face like no one else has sat on a face. And the thing is, we got attributed with that. We were like, oh, check out the ACC's commentary. It's like, no, that's the legit commentary, and that's Phil Robertson.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, we
claim it.
We were
keep it.
Meanwhile, we were commentating a full replay at that stage. I don't know if you heard about that, but anyway, no one told us that they were replaying the match the day before, so we commentated a race. About 15 minutes in, someone said, it's a replay, eh? And we're like, God damn it.
Strong work.
Yeah, anyway.
Nice.
Hey, thanks very much, Phil, for your time, and good luck for the rest of the Sail GP series. You're definitely one of the characters of that tour. I love your social media is good. Love your chirping of Russell Coots and Dave Dobbin while they're walking around. It's all great stuff. So thanks very much and good luck.
Yeah, nice, and thanks for coming down. It was your presence was certainly seen.
Not sure we'll be invited back, but never mind. We'll come anyway.
We'll see you in San Fran. Cheers, Phil.
I'll give Coots a call.
Thanks, mate.
Well, that'll do us for a Thursday edition of Fake Friday of the Agenda Podcast Lane. No podcast tomorrow. We'll both be at church.
Yes.
No podcast Saturday, Sunday. and Monday
We'll be at church again.
all 3 of those days. So
will people be okay? 4 days without the agenda? That's the biggest break we've ever had. We didn't take a break over Christmas, remember?
We actually didn't take a day off over Christmas, I don't think.
So are people going to be okay?
We haven't taken a day off since last Monday. I think our partners will be okay. They'll be happy about that, but I think everyone else will be a little bit disappointed. So, I don't know, talk to each other.
Have you still got a partner?
Call a mate. I think so. I haven't been home in about a week. So, I don't know. Talk to each other. Hold each other's hands, help each other through this.
Yeah. Feed each other eggs.
If you really miss it, Lane's number is 021.
Yeah.
We'll see you on Tuesday to recap a massive Easter weekend. Hooroo. Oh, don't forget the bloody pubs are shut at midnight tonight and the bottle stores are shut tomorrow. See ya.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.